I am forever doing that. I did that all. Okay. Hey, how are you guys? I know, like for a minute, thank God, live. It's all about live, right? How are you guys? I'm so grateful for my folks down there in the green room. They're down there. Hey. Okay, can't hear me. And so I'm so grateful that they are down there giving me some cues, letting me know that they need to hear me because I am forever forgetting to turn that mic back up. But I want to welcome you guys to Living Out Loud. This is a show about just enjoying your life, being who you are, accepting who you are, and not giving a fart. And yes, I said it, a fart about what the rest of the world thinks, or about what the rest of the world, how they feel, any of that kind of stuff. You're just enjoying being you. You're comfortable in the skin you're in. And that's basically what this show is all about. It's about us just having some fun, chatting about issues, sharing insight, all of those kind of things, and being who you are. And I picked some amazing women for our first show. I just love them to death. I have watched them on my Facebook page. And the thing is it's not even about connecting with them on a daily basis. I just watched the living that they were doing on my Facebook page, and all of the different things and how they were expressing who they were outside of this sort of social norm that we have about what we're supposed to be, how we're supposed to be, how we're supposed to look, how we're supposed to act. Forget all that nonsense. This is about being who you are, being comfortable with who you are. So come on in and join us and be a part of it. Ask questions, make comments. We love all of that kind of stuff. Before we start, I'm going to get one of my little sponsors out of the way. I love this young man's art. And his name is LaShawn Bill. And I had to say it like that because I always mess up his name and he gets on me about it. So I'm going to go ahead and get this sponsor out of the way because I just love his work. He will be a part of our Christmas bazaar. So if you're an artist or you're a crafter, get in on that. Go to the Beauty of Blackness Fine Art Show and sign up. It's the 5th and 6th, and it goes from 10 to 2, and it's all live stream. You get to sell online live. So definitely sign up for that and be a part of that. We're going to go ahead. This is LaShawn Beal's work right here. We love him to death. Absolutely to death. He has some amazing stuff. So you definitely look out. So I want you guys to definitely go to his website. It's LaShawnBill.com. And you talking about holiday stuff. Boom. Those what we showed today was his they were cutting boards with the wine. It has the wine in it. Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up because I want to tell you. It has the little wine cork in it. It has the opener. It has it's for cheese. And it's all his artwork design on it. So go to his website. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stuff. And if you ever want to be a sponsor, you just hit me up in my inbox and let me know. So I'm going to start because I don't want to delay too long because I want to bring these beautiful, wonderful women up. And the first one I'm going to bring up, I just have to show you some things about her. This young lady. Okay, I just have to tell you, this young lady, I have been having so much fun watching her on Facebook, and just it's just to die for. If you guys do not watch her, this is Miss B, and I have had so much fun watching her on Facebook and on all of just watching her do her thing. And so I'm just going to show you some little snippets. So if you haven't been on her page, go and see her page, because she comes on at, I think it's either 9 or 10, but she'll tell you the truth. And she has been having a birthday month that's been insane. Okay, it's just been absolutely insane. I have been cracking up and just enjoying it. So let me bring her. I just got to show you guys. Here is this is Miss B, and I really loved some of the these right here, because she does different themes and months. I mean, the makeup is fantastic. Love the whole wig thing. I think some of her people was like, you got on hair now. So I'm gonna bring her up, Miss Bianca B.
Yes,
Right.
ma'am.
Miss
Hello.
Ms. B.
Liz B. That's right. That's right. That's right. Hello. 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 Thank you so much for having me here.
I am so glad to have you here, because you are just absolutely phenomenal. And like I said, when I first started watching you, you were just kind of flashing on my page,
Right.
just flashing
Exactly.
on my page, and just
Yeah.
fell in love with who you were and how bold you were with who you were. It's like, you know what? I don't care. I don't care. I used to care, but I don't care anymore.
Yep. And
And
that
I think that's how we've all been in our life. I don't care anymore. I'm tired of caring about what you think about me, how I look, and all that kind of stuff. That's over. That day has ended.
yes.
I have settled into who I am. All of that kind of
Yes.
stuff, right? Okay.
Yes.
So and just seeing you all the time, flashing here and there. I'm perusing through my little feed, and I'm like, okay, all right, I like her. Girl, it wasn't until I invited you to the show, I started going to your page.
There you go.
And honey, I tell you, it has been a absolute joy to go to your page and sit in on some of your stuff when I'm up that late in the morning,
Right.
hanging out with you and your crew, because you definitely have a crew, and they are just as flamboyant as you are.
They are.
So love. So you definitely shout out for me for your crew, because they on point.
Thank
Okay,
you.
they're
Yes,
on
yes,
point.
they are. Yes, they are.
Love
I
them
love
to
them
death.
dearly.
Let them know I
Yes.
love them. They're gonna be like, who is this? Like, don't matter. She in there watching you all and your comments, and just love them to death. So
Yes.
up next we have. I'm gonna bring her up. She's over there. She back there in her look. I see you back there, Donielle. She's back there doing stuff. So I'm gonna bring our next guest as this young lady. She is absolutely amazing. She's an advocate. She works diligently with the city, pushing different reforms and things like that. She's even ran for a public office. Just
Nice.
a wonderful young lady. But the most thing is she's a fabulous mother. She has single-handedly raised all these children all by herself, and just amazing. There's just not enough to say about her. Met her years ago and have always felt a connection with her, and same thing on my feed, just watching her on my feed. So this young lady, I'm just gonna show you some. This is Donielle. Look, this is you see the energy this woman has.
I do.
Absolutely amazing. She's back there saying, where did Louise get all those pictures from? Look at her tribe right there. That's
I
her tribe.
see.
That's her tribe. You're talking about went off to college, all of those things. Just wonderful young people. So we're gonna bring up Miss Donielle. Hey, how are you?
Hey. Now, first of all, that's a absolutely horrific picture. Last fall, my lashes were torn up from the floor up. That was horrific. And then I suffered from a little inflammation, so my face was blown up. But literally, when I'm jumping up like fast, and I just have to throw this out there. I had just landed my first caucus commit card.
Oh wow!
So for Kamala Harris, and so I don't want to go into that long process, but it's a long road to becoming president of the United States.
I'm sure.
So literally, I'm an educator. Me folding my arms, that was years ago in an interview. Because I used to be known as the jail teacher also.
Right.
Alderman, and I have 6 fabulous children that have served as well. And I'm actually a creative as well, right? But yeah, so those were some recent things, but I look horrible. Why did you pull that one up?
Stop it. You look at it. She jumping right in on us. She jumping
let
right
Let me stop. Yeah. So I'm in the middle of rehabbing my house, and Miss B, I was looking at that green background. I promise you, I was like, that woman's gonna have a green background. I swear. I swear. I was like, I bet you she gonna have that. And then when I saw it, I was like, well, maybe I could take strip the temporary shade down, and then maybe that's gonna show outside. And then I started running around.
Girl, she was back there running around, Bianca. She's back there running around.
Lord, listen, you are just fine. You are just fine.
Did you see her back there running around at the bottom?
I couldn't see her. No. That's so funny.
I was like, maybe that'll look better. Maybe that'll look better. Okay.
That's so funny.
You know what? You look fabulous.
Yes.
All of your stuff look fabulous. Don't even worry about it, girl. That's the whole thing. You look absolutely fabulous. So you don't have to worry about a thing. And because we're on here because we're sharing about who we are. And we are just out here, and we are here to live out loud in front of the world and share that and share what it means for us, because we've all been through struggles. We've all had these things that we've had to fight through. We've all had these things we've had to overcome, to triumphant about. Each of us, I look at it in my life, it's been overcoming being an artist and being different and being set apart. And I always tell people, when I get people, they're like, oh, I don't like church folks because they this. I said, if anybody should have left church, it should have been me.
See?
Okay. As a creative person. Hello. Come on, everybody, hands up in there. Okay. Okay. If I can still love the Lord.
There you go.
Overlook some of God's people.
Come on.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Because I know what it's really about. It's about Him and not about them. And that's it as a creative. So that's it. Because you learn to live as who you are and accept who you are, because He's the one that actually created you to be that person. And I had to, years ago, I had to accept that, because I spent so many years trying to push other people to accept it. Like, in my rebellion stage.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. And I'm sure you guys can relate to that, because I know you sisters, okay? Because I watch you. And that's basically what we're just going to share, how that road to discovering, who I am, what I do, and what I've done to overcome that. Because I know, Donielle, you've had to overcome a lot. Donielle, I keep calling you Donielle. You've had to overcome a lot. I've met you back when I worked in the Park District. Remember?
Yeah, I served for almost 20 years.
I met you when I worked in the Park District, and people was like, because I think your daughter was a part of one of the programs. They was like, oh, her mama gonna come up here. Because people had their thoughts. You know what I'm saying? They had their thoughts about who this person was, but that didn't represent who she really was. And that's the thing. Those kind of roads that we had to struggle through as young people, as young people, to get to where we are today. So I'm not going to take up all the time. I want you guys to share and just, either one of you that want to start, because we just want to share, and we just comment and go in. I'm just creating a free flowing platform. I'm just telling you that right now. So it's all about us engaging and sharing and just having some fun. Okay. All right.
Well, I know for myself, I knew from a child that I was totally different. I knew that, I was that child that always got popped in my mouth for talking too much. I was that child that always wanted to go against the grain. I was that child that asked why. And never trying to be disrespectful, but I just wanted to know why. That because I said so never really satisfied me. It never really worked for me, because I want to know what is the very reason why we have to do the things. And one thing that I've come to learn is that even in parenting and all of that stuff, sometimes you gotta tell the reason. You can't just give the directive and then don't give the reason why. Don't give
my
the
kids get on me all the time.
why. You know what I mean? Like, that's where the lessons come in, because when we grow up and we may have to choose to make decisions or whatever, we gotta not just know what to do, but know why we're doing it. And so I never understood how to verbalize that. You know what I'm saying? As a child, I just would ask those questions, and it would be appear to be disrespectful. You know what I mean? Even when it came down to the arts, I always sang. And Louise, I don't know if you recall, but over at we was all me and Kiyoshi and all of us. We all sang. We sang. I've been singing since I was 5 years old. You know what I mean? So music was my life. And so all things creative was my life. You know what I mean? And so I never ever, but I was always forced to sing gospel only. And I'm like, now listen, there's a whole plethora, a whole universe of music but outside of that. But I was always forced to sing gospel. I couldn't listen to what they call secular music, a lot of the different things. But what I've come to learn as I've gotten older is that there's such a vast array of just creativity out here beyond what we know. You know what I'm saying? And what I've come to learn as an adult is that we are intimidated by what we don't understand. It's not the fact that it's wrong per se, because then who's to say what's wrong and what's right? You know what I'm saying? Say what level of creativity is wrong and right. It's just a matter of, if we don't understand it, it's labeled wrong automatically. You know what I'm saying? And that was the thing that I always bucked. I always went against that right there. I was always rebellious. I was always that, one that wanted to wear this. Because who I am, I knew that it was far greater than what I was compacted to be. You know what I'm saying? Or forced to just fit into this shape, and stuff like that, because I want you to do this, or I want you to, and you should do this, and this is what a girl should do, and this is what says who. You know what I'm saying? Says who? That's what you chose. That doesn't have to be my bent. And so what people don't understand is you always have to cultivate what the natural thing is. I tell parents all the time, because I'm a life and business coach right now. So I tell parents all the time, pay attention to what your child is doing naturally. Pay attention to those things, because if we are created, let's go back to the church now, because I was there 8 days a week, 25 hours a day. Okay. If we're going back to the church and we know and learn that we were created and made from his image and his likeness, and everything that he does we can do, and all of those things, then that means that very being is the very creator. He's the creator, okay, that created every single thing that we are seeing in our world, universe, planet, whatever. There has been no limit to the colors and to the shapes and have you paid attention to insects and how they just, everything is so different, and the flowers are so different. There's such a large, deep pool of creativity. So my thing is, if I was made like him, to look like him, to do the things that he do, and even greater, in the words of Christ, even greater works that you do, because I'm going to be with my Father, then why am I limiting myself to just this suit, this jacket, and this briefcase, and this, why am I limiting myself? No shade to those who wear suits and jackets and briefcase, but that's not me.
Now, how did you go about breaking that? How did you go about breaking through?
To be honest with you, when I stepped out, I stepped out. I just stepped out. I stepped out without regard. You know what I'm saying? I stopped, like you said, I stopped asking permission. I did, because why am I asking someone else permission for what I have to live with? Why am I asking someone else's permission for what I love to do? If I enjoy music, then I'm going to listen and expose myself to music. If I enjoy art, if I enjoy makeup and creating and anything pertaining to creating, writing and sculpting, if I enjoy those things, then why am I asking someone else on if I can do this, or if this is okay, or if this fits your box and your whatever? It don't have to fit anybody else. If they don't want to do that and they don't see any purpose in that, then that's great. That's on them. That has nothing to do with me. Nor do I allow anybody to inflict their issues and their thoughts about what I want to do onto me. That's their problem. If you don't like it, that's your concern. That has nothing to do with me.
So can I just chime in? So I know my childhood was a bit different. So even though I was very inquisitive as a child, my mother would say to me, and I just always would remember this. She would say, Donielle, you cannot always say what you think. And the tone in which she said it, because I heard Miss B say, the responses to her was, because I said so. And I've heard people say that. I know that narrative as well. But that when she said that, I got it, right? Because she was literally preparing me for the world. That you would have to think about certain things you would say. So even though I still, and many of my adult children, my teen children, even children when they were younger, because my children teach me a lot, even though it's very painful, but they teach me a lot. But I have lived where I live probably a life with no filters, and I've learned that sometimes you have to have a filter. But just going through life, even as a child, even after my parents got divorced when I was about 7, attended a lot of elementary schools. I've seen a lot of things. My experiences weren't necessarily, I've seen a lot of people, I've had friends, and their experiences were a lot of because I said so. I always looked at adults who said because I said so. I looked at it even when I was a little girl. I said, wow, they're saying that because they really want to either protect us and or they're fearful. Especially in a city like Chicago, which is the most prejudiced city in Chicago, right? I mean, in the nation, right? And so I always in my spirit, I know fear and love is not in the same place. It makes sense.
Right.
I knew that was the world in which they were coming from. But I somehow knew in me that I had the courage to that I was going to break barriers, but I knew that like my relatives, even though they might have submitted because of the times, that they still were laying the ground for me to be who I am. And so I'm not going to go on a long tangent, but I think this is very important. I'm 51 years old. There is no way in the world that I am not who I am. And I did not become who I am without my people. Many times we have people who are in their 30s and they're like, oh, I made it by myself. No. People have laid down the groundwork. So when people told Miss B, oh, because I said so, they still were laying down that
And
groundwork.
I absolutely
Okay.
understand the part. I
Mhm.
absolutely
Still
understand that.
laying down the
However,
Mhm.
right, however, at the same time, and I get the structure is going to happen. The structure comes. I get that part because we need structure. We just can't be
That's
out
true.
here living by the seat of our pants. We can't do that. You need structure. However,
Mhm.
how I became myself, how I, that was the question was, how did I break through some of
Mhm.
the things that prevented me from being myself? You know what I mean? And so that was a thing that I had to press through. I had to
Right.
go
Right. Right.
beyond what I was told and the structure and stuff like that. I had to go beyond that because you have to understand, yes, they have intentions on protection and this, that, and this, and the third, but they're also doing this based on what they went through.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
The only
Right.
information
Exactly.
they have is what they went through. The
Mhm.
only information that they have is what is their perspective. And what I say all the time is people don't see the situation for what it is. They see it from where they are.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's been
What they have.
right.
What
That
you
was
say,
my
Louise?
that's
Yeah.
where I came from.
Yes.
I actually came out because I do. Because I say it so.
Yeah.
I tell
Yeah.
my kids because I said so. And
Right.
like this little sister right here, she said, oftentimes we say it because we really don't have the answer. She
Yes.
ain't lying. Okay.
Right.
There are days where your kids be like, well, why I gotta do why? And it's like, because I say it so doggone it. It's like just do it because and a lot of times it is you just it's like, can you just do it because I say it so?
Right.
Can you and can you just trust me that
Mm-hmm.
I'm steering you right? Can you
Right.
trust me that I'm giving you the right answer?
Mm-hmm.
That can you just trust me? And but you know what? It's just like it also instills, well, can I ask a question? Can I dispute this thing? Can I not
Yes.
agree with you, mama?
Right.
And then the mama is like, no.
Right.
Okay, no, you can't. But
Yeah.
in that, it takes something away from them as they get older. Now, when they're kids, you be like, because I said so.
Right.
Yeah, I sometimes I don't know, but it's a protective thing.
Right.
It's a protective thing, but it also is a hindrance thing.
Yes.
The hindrance to the child because the child is saying, well, I want to know why you said so.
Yes.
I want
Exactly.
to
But
know
if
why
you
you said
say it, but you know what, Louise, and I know we're getting into parenting thing, but my style always was,
so. Mhm.
and this is what I was taught, even though my mother was a little different, and I'm a little different. I would give the reason
Mhm.
before so that my children would never ask why.
And so, see,
Mhm.
there you go.
So, and
Mhm.
that was except for my non-negotiables.
Yes.
Mhm.
So therefore, and let's make it lighter, you all,
Mhm.
because we're talking about pushing it, right? But I want to say this because the person who made that comment, I met her in college, and
Mhm.
she happened to come over here. She lives in LA. That's Karen, and she happened to come because I'm getting one of the rooms rehab, and we're talking about making people's dreams come true, right? And living
Mhm.
outside, living out loud. And she was looking at one of the bedrooms I'm getting rehab. And you know what I allowed my daughter to do? And I didn't even realize this. This is one of my daughters, Logan. And literally, Logan, Miss B, you'll love this. Louise, you'll love this. Audience,
Mm-hmm.
you will love this.
Mm-hmm.
Logan would write on the walls.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She would just write on the walls her thoughts, everything on the wall. And when Karen came for like an hour a few weeks ago, she looked on the walls, right? She painted it fuchsia. I let her paint it fuchsia, right? She was like 12 years old and she would just write little stuff on the wall. And I took pictures of it, right?
Mhm.
And she said, she looked around and she said, wow, she surely, I think she said she surely manifested. She surely made her dreams come true. And when we live out loud, right?
Mhm.
And when
Mhm.
we're cultivating our friends, our family, our children, I think this is why it's great. Me and Miss B are on the same episode. The same show. Because this is what we do when we're
Mhm.
Right.
friends. We allow people to express themselves.
Just be.
And
Mhm.
so I
Mhm.
pondered because I'm looking at the wall and I'm like, something she did, she had no business doing. She wrote And I remember looking at it. Please forgive me. She wrote the date, and I remember looking at it. And I was like, God, what the hell did she do on that date? I didn't even ask her. But, and I'm like, oh my God, look at this.
Yep.
Like, expressing yourself, allowing people to be who they are,
yes,
and loving them through it, instead of everything having to be this perfect way, even though there's still protocols now. But my God.
Yeah.
And okay, let me just be quiet. But
no, that's real.
Right.
I was
Real.
that.
Yeah,
and that's something that I had to learn as a mother, because I grew up with, I grew up in that church home where everybody dressed in those church ways. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true.
And so I was, so you're under all of that, and you are literally having to break free. And so I brought a lot of that into my parenting. I brought a lot of that into my, how I parent my children. And, I am just seeing, I'm like, okay, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that way. I want to give those answers, because then you get children and they're like, okay, I'm not taking this. There's a whole nother world of children right now.
Yes,
this world of children is different. I have my older son, and he was like, okay, my mama said it. I believe it. That settles it.
Right. Right.
And so, but it also caused a lot of trauma in his life as growing up as a young man. And I'm seeing that. And so now those are things that I'm dealing with, not this whole Oprah Winfrey version of how you raise your children,
right?
But what are you seeing, and how are you dealing with that? And how are you addressing it as you get older and you start
Sure.
moving forward from there? So I totally get what you and Donielle are saying, because it is, because you guys are like, and I'm like, yeah, I did that too. I was that mama.
Yeah.
But how about friends?
And then there's no friends. Yeah, and then there's no
friends. How do we support our friends?
Yeah, and there's no script, and I know there's no script. There is no script. You know what I mean? You learn as you go. Okay. You just really do. We all practicing this thing. You practicing being a child. I'm practicing being a parent. Hello. Okay, but at the same time, as you're learning, that's what I'm saying. Observing what your child is doing naturally. So you see that, like with Donielle, she saw her babies writing on the walls. Like somebody said in the comments, that would have been a whole whooping. Okay.
Right. There you go. That was
the average. Hello. That was my walls. I'm about to tear you up. Okay, tearing on my walls like this. But instead, you saw that. You paid attention to that. You read the messages that she was writing, because that is a thing, man. I tell parents all the time, please listen to your babies. They are really spewing purity, and you know what I'm saying? They're giving you their entirety. They're telling you what they need. They're crying out to you in ways of creativity, dancing, writing, whatever. Pay attention to it, because the things the very answers that you're looking for to those questions that you may have internally, they're telling you it's right there before you. But because you're in this parenting box, and you're gonna do it like mama did it, like big mama did it, like, you know what I'm saying?
It is. It's like you said, it's a parenting box.
Yes.
You're following this parenting concept, this parenting idea, and you don't have a box, you don't have a book, so you're just following the pattern of what you were exposed to, what you learned from the parenting box that you saw. And so you're like, it's like, okay, I'm just going to open up all of the things that I got, all the things that was put in my box from when I was a kid. And I'm gonna, now here's the thing. I'm not going to take everything out. I'm not going to take everything out. I'm just going to take a few things out.
Yes.
I didn't like some of the stuff.
Yes.
I didn't like the whole you spanking your children. I didn't like the whole this. So I'm going to take some of that out the box. But what we fail to realize is we take a whole lot of stuff that we didn't expect to take out
That's
with us in
it.
the box. And we take it into marriage. We take it into all kinds of stuff. We just take it all. But you know what? We didn't, Donielle, we didn't got on children. Donielle done blanked out on us.
Oh, okay.
Doris, but you know what? I do want to say.
Uh-oh. Donielle.
Uh-oh.
Because she was about to get into something.
It sounds like it was about to do it too.
It was all on her face. Like, we gonna wait till she come back because she about to get into something.
Yes, she is.
And I want to hear one of the things that, you know, what's interesting is getting into the conversation of children. You can't help but get into conversation of children because when you're talking about how you became and how you broke through, it all started when you were a child.
That's where the conditioning happened. Yeah, that's what
conditioning happened when you were a child. And
absolutely.
So it's like it's easy to say, oh well, okay, we're discussing children, but that's where it all began.
Yes, that's the conditioning. Those are the conditioning times right there. And so what you learn as a child, I tell my parents all the time, a hurt child will be a hurt adult if you do not rectify those issues.
Exactly.
Okay? An angry child would be an angry adult if you resolve those matters. Okay.
Well, that's what I was just going to say this right quick. I was telling somebody recently, because, you know, if you go through the statistics of adult reading versus children's reading, people say, well, adults don't read as much as children. I said, because you took all the pictures out of the adult books. I said, you got a visual learner who loves to read as a child, and then slowly, you keep taking all the pictures out the book. And so then you get these adult books, and they don't have any pictures in them.
It's a shock. It's a culture shock that we all have to deal with. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing, because if you teach a child to not say how they feel, don't get me wrong, with respect, but if you teach a child to not say how they feel as a child, then they're going to grow up as adults not speaking how they feel. If you teach them that what they're doing, singing is not going to get you nowhere, or coloring or whatever is not going to get you.
Not going to get you anywhere. There she go.
Yeah, there she go. So if you them as a young child not to do certain things, and you put the handcuffs on them, then as an adult they're conditioned to still not do those things. And like you said, it's going to carry them into the marriage, because I was carried in my marriage where because I couldn't say how I had to suppress my feelings a lot of times.
The seen but not heard.
Seen but not heard. You know what I'm saying? If I said how I felt, I would have gotten in trouble as a child. So now going into my marriage, I suppressed it because, you know, I don't want to make him mad. I don't want to, you know, because we might split. He might get angry. It's a conditioning situation.
Now, you know what? I want to just interject in there, and it seems like we're turning this into actually how we can help young people live out loud. It seems like this is what this episode is about, right?
But it's also we're sharing that because this is how we overcame. All of this information is what we use to get to where we are. So go ahead.
It's interesting that you're mentioning that. So about 7 years ago, my eldest son, this is very unorthodox. My eldest son and I.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
This, my eldest son and I, I have to just really tell you how the Holy Spirit.
Go ahead with it.
He always prepares you, you guys, to live out loud. If you really are ready to live out loud. And I remember my son was like 16. He was 17 years old. I was washing dishes upstairs. He ended up attending Morehouse College. People have been telling him since he was 11 years old. He did a lot of service, everything. Sounded like a great orator. They kept saying he was a Morehouse man. Same thing with my daughter. They always said she was going to go to Spelman. She went to Spelman. So he says, Mom, when I grow up, I'm going to come back and I'm going to get my brothers and I'm going to raise them. He told me that. It hit me in my spirit. And literally, when he was 24, everything kind of fell together. And I made the decision to allow him to take my boys at 10 and 12.
Mm-hmm.
And for us to co-parent
Wow.
them in Washington, D.C.
Mm,
For
mm,
them to go to some of the best schools while I healed, because I
mm-hmm,
was going through a lot. There were some things going on. But I knew it, because God was preparing me
mm-hmm,
when he was 17 that this was going to happen. Now we're
mm,
talking about living out loud.
mm-hmm,
Mm-hmm.
Many times God will give you a vision. He will prepare you.
mm-hmm,
You know the time is coming, but do you have the courage?
Mm.
Do
mm-hmm.
you have the courage to move into your destiny?
Right.
Because destiny is determined by you.
Mm-hmm,
Mm.
Do you? Many people, oh my God, everybody had their opinion. Because
mm-hmm,
many times people raise other people's children when? If
mm-hmm.
mama's on crack,
Right.
Right.
if mama's a
Somebody
drug
passes
addict.
away. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm,
Oh my
mm-hmm,
God. Oh my God, you're a horrible mother. You got this 24-year-old raising your kids. Oh my
mm,
God, it's got to be. So literally, I'm co-parenting
Right.
with a 24-year-old.
Right.
So when you're talking about, like Louise mentioned, he's throwing away certain things that he didn't like as me as a parent. And
mm-hmm,
then I'm literally having to balance, because some of his style as a brother parent is
mm-hmm.
stuff that I don't agree with.
Right.
Exactly. Yep.
Mm-hmm,
So it's like, and then oh my God,
right.
but then it's like, oh my God, I saw visions and God told me certain things about my boys, and I knew that in order for their destiny to be what it is supposed to be,
Mm-hmm,
it was for them to be on that East Coast.
There you go.
right.
So it wasn't for me to keep going. I swear it was so exhausting to go to my friends and keep explaining that this is their destiny.
Mm-hmm,
But guess what? They're 20 and 17. And
mm-hmm.
now I have my friends saying, oh, I guess it was meant for them to be there. You know, but guess what? I've got kids that are extraordinary.
Right.
They're living amplified lives.
Yep.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
when
Right.
you are living lives that are totally out loud,
Mm-hmm.
you got to do stuff that is way out the
And
box.
outside of the box.
It's
Outside of the box. You
way
have to go
out the
outside
box.
of the box. You
When the
have to
neighbors
go outside.
came and talked to the boys, they ain't seen them in years.
Mm-hmm.
They was like, man, Donielle, you might be crazy on the block. You knew all the resources, you knew all that. But my God, your kids,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
way out the box. You take risks. Some of the
Yep.
risks might not always be the best risks, as my
Mm-hmm.
elder son said. You live life as a gambler, mama.
Yep.
Some of the stuff we had high, but man, we hit the lows.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you don't hear God. Some of
Right.
the time, your timing might be off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your timing might be off.
And you don't always know. I mean, it's like you don't always you don't always know what the outcome is going to be. You just
Mm-mm.
follow. You're just being faithful. It's like I'm just following and being faithful, and other people will be like, oh, so you just didn't want to raise your kids. Oh, you
It's,
just didn't want to do this. You just didn't want to do that. When actually you just walking by faith. It's like, you know what? I'm just walking by faith and not by sight. Do I know what the outcome is going to be? No.
no.
But God does. God
Yes.
knows. And that's just it. It's like we have to take those challenges sometimes and we have to walk outside the box. It's like you said. But see, people are so afraid to walk outside boxes. They're so afraid to walk outside boxes. They're so afraid to take steps that's beyond the norm. Because, you know, I talk about all the time. I remember my son, he called me. He said, Mom, I want to leave and go to California. And I said, go. Go.
Mm-hmm.
I said, go. He said, well, I said, pack up your stuff and just go. I said, because I don't know what it is about Chicago, but it does not like letting folks go.
Lord.
Chicago's got some kind of vice grip on people. I mean, it's got a hold on folks. And so people do not like leave it or can't.
Right.
You know, it's like I'm trying to go and can't go. So I said, pack up and just go. Pack your car and just go.
Yeah.
And he said, well, I'm gonna do it on my birthday. And you know, he celebrate his birthday. He's born on my sister's birthday, and they celebrate together. And so it's a hard go on his birthday. And he said, I'm just gonna pack up. I said, don't tell anybody,
Right.
because I'm from a big family.
Yeah.
If you going somewhere, we got to celebrate. Okay, and then you're never gonna go because you didn't got caught in the celebration,
Yes.
you didn't got caught in the love, and
Right.
now everybody with you, and so you never go because the
Right.
celebration might take a few days to prepare when
Right.
you left some other days.
Right.
And so I told him, I said, just pack up and leave that day. I said, don't even. And so that's what he did. Everybody was calling. Wait, he just left us. He just left. Didn't tell nobody. Didn't this, didn't that. I said, you know what? Every now and then, you just have to go.
That's it.
You just have to pack up with your stuff.
Right.
I tell people all the time. They're like, Louise, there's nothing for me in Chicago. I said, then pack up and leave.
Oh, you know what Bishop Jake said years ago? He said the reason why Lot's wife didn't have a name. Well, I don't know why. I forgot that part, but he said he'll call her Lottie. And he said that one of the problems, you know, people have is the inability. I was in my 20s. I went to a conference, and he said the inability to pack light and move fast. And I used to work for Chicago Public
I
Schools.
like that one.
Let me
Wait.
I like that one.
I've been single, but these 6 kids, that's crazy. We only want to go into that.
Listen.
A few years ago doing therapy while all that happened. I always knew I had 6 kids, but I didn't know why, you know. But I'm not going to tell you all this. That's a long story. But let me say something to you. I work for Chicago Public Schools. Do you know what? I used to quit a job on a Monday, pack my stuff, leave half of it there, sit at home for 2 weeks, and go get me another job. I made a career where I would move. I'd be administrative 1 minute, then I'll go back and do something else. Then I'll go do something else. Then I'll go do something else. I had 20 lives in one company where I had other people that will remain stagnant. When you're living out loud, you can just you take these risks, you take these chances, but you got to be able to pack light and move fast. And one thing I can say is if you are unable to do that, that's what I love about Quest to Connect, because we're all on a quest to connect. But you cannot search, you cannot look, you cannot connect with people who have the inability to recognize and strategize. You cannot be a part of a collective,
right?
To thrive, because that's what we do at Quest to Connect. We cannot get together, galvanize, be a tribe, thrive. We can't do that if you can't pack light and move fast. If you're not flexible. What did my mama always say? If you don't bend, right? You got to bend, right?
If you don't bend, you're gonna break. If you can't bend, you're gonna break.
You'll break.
You're gonna break.
And that's
move fast.
That's it.
The Lord, I've got to say this. I thank the Lord. When I left CPS a few years ago, after I left Cook County Jail, I left a few years ago for 2 years. I went back on a goodbye tour. I thank the Lord when I heard leave CPS. I literally left my it work November 2018. I had no plan. I left. I'm saying, guys, I left. And what has happened since then? Pandemic, all hell broke loose. I had no job waiting for me. I had team me. My eldest son was like, okay, mama. My other kids was like, you know what? You didn't pay your due. You didn't did everything. Mama, you got, because God will warn you, but you got to move in the time. You got to have courage. But guess what? You already have had to have the groundwork laid. You have lived a life
Yep.
of living out loud. You
Yep.
can't just all of a sudden be calling me up saying, hey, Donielle, you've been living out loud all these years. Can you help me live out loud?
Exactly.
I'm tired of helping you living out loud.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I can't give
Right.
you 5
It-
minutes on how to live out loud.
It's a lifestyle. It's a
Oh,
lifestyle.
yes.
It's a lifestyle.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
And that
That's it.
was me.
Mhm.
When you said, listen, you said so much stuff right there. I'm just like, oh Lord, it's so good. This breakfast y'all serving today. Okay, so listen. Okay. Right. Look, everybody just relax. Everybody just calm down.
I'm relaxed.
Okay. Because this is good. You said something so pertinent and so me. You were like,
I was hoping you held on to it. I saw you.
you can't connect with folks who don't understand that. Hello. So it's like, okay, it's like trying to explain who you are to a brick wall. Okay, if they can't understand it, then why are you so busy toiling with folks who will never understand it? You take them as they are, enjoy and love them from where they are, but you got to keep moving. You got to do what you got to do, and it's nothing against them. It's nothing against whatever they got to say. It ain't disrespecting. You ain't running away from walking away from them. Y'all just don't listen. You can't understand what you ain't in. You don't. I'm to someone who's English. I don't. You know what I'm saying? They don't understand. And so in that, I have to understand that you don't understand. I have to be okay with your not understanding. That's why when people say, even in my my teaching in business, one of the biggest things that people complain about in entrepreneurs is the fact that, and I did it too, trust me, is the fact that my family and my friends don't support me. They don't, you know what I'm saying? I get more support from strangers than I do. Listen. Here's the thing, that I used to listen. I had that whole speech ready at any given moment because I was fucking at my family.
Hands up. Oh, we all there.
Fussing because I'm like, y'all the main ones. Y'all know what I do. Y'all know what I go through. Why I got to argue and fuss and beg and prime and pump y'all to come and support me. Here's the thing. They support you in how they know how to support, in the ways that they know. This is what I tell my people. Your family ain't your clients. They ain't your customers. They're your family. That is it.
Because half the time they don't have the money to buy what you're selling anyway.
They want the 5-finger hookup anyway. So look here.
They want the deal. Give me the family special.
Listen. But this is the thing that I had to learn. What they were supposed to instill in me, they did that. Okay. Yes. They're done. Like you said, it took everything in you. I'm pretty sure as a mother, there's no mother that I can think of right now, a good one that would be okay internally and would be able to release their children at the age of 10 and 12 or whoever and not be shaking in their boots like, oh my God, what are my kids about to do? What am I doing?
And what are they doing on a day to day?
Oh, I already contacted Ridge about 10 times already. We got
listen.
Elijah and everything, But I didn't have fear. And I'm going to say something else. You're talking about businesses and this and that. In my mind, I'm going to tell you the only thing. This is the only thing. We can talk about friends or whatever. The only time that I really was hurt about really not being supported, family and friends, is when I ran for alderman. Because running for alderman,
we together.
Everybody knows. Now this election cycle was easier because a lot of socialists got in. We all know that.
Yeah.
But running for alderman in Chicago 11 years ago, very tough. And literally, for not having, and when I say family, I mean, they love me, but some close friends to not even, say, hey, can I help get signatures?
Right.
And it was like, I don't want to go into the hater thing.
Right.
But you know what I realized as I pondered and thought? It wasn't that it was a jealousy about what I was doing.
Yep.
It was a disappointment about them and what they were doing.
What they
Or
could
what they wasn't doing. Hey, there you go. What they wasn't doing.
Their
Come on.
own disappointment about themselves.
Come on.
So when you're living out loud, and I don't want to transition this because I'm looking at the time, but it's okay. But as I'm thinking about, you know, living out loud, I think sometimes we can live out loud. People can love us, but at the same time, because there's a dichotomy, right? There's fights within us, and it could be something like, man, they doing that too. And I'm gonna give a shameless plug. Because while I was in quarantine hell with my sons, I wrote a short little book, which I still never released. It was called My Quarantine Prayer, which turned out to be a house gospel song. My son Elijah Parks, who attends Williams College, #1 liberal arts college, 30 years straight, harder to get in at Harvard. He had a choice to go anywhere he wanted to go. He's there on the full ride. He also does music, my twin.
Right.
And he got me in the studio, and we co-produced this called My Quarantine Prayer. And literally, I wrote it in 5 minutes, right?
Wow.
I released this song. And literally, you know, I'm thinking about this, right? Because during that time, you know, you can do all these creative things, right?
Yeah.
All these creative things. And as we're living out loud, there are people that surround us, and it's constantly like, man, you doing that too? Man, you doing that too? Man, you doing that too? And I think that we have to be very, very careful that, how can I say this? I really don't subscribe to this hater stuff.
Yeah.
But I think we have to be very, very careful that that we don't keep pouring and pouring and pouring into people that's not going to do anything.
Right.
I've learned that if you have not built and constructed anything on your own, you can't give me constructive criticism. Okay. You can't tell me something that you ain't never did yourself. Okay. That's when it comes down to what I do. If I'm in sectors, because I do a whole bunch of stuff too. I'm very
I Googled you for 2 minutes and got exhausted.
Listen.
I'm honored to be with you.
Oh, same here. Trust me, we're gonna be talking after this. You just don't know it yet. Okay. So I'm in the beauty arena. I'm in the entertainment arena. I'm in the business sector. I have a awards platform that ranked 1 of 3 the first time out next to Tyler Perry's movie production studio opening and the BET Hip Hop Awards that same day. Was number 3 in the city, okay, at the first time out, and we had one sponsor of $2,000. Hello.
That's what I'm talking
See,
about.
I'm running all of this down here.
Thank you. All of it. We had people. We had NBA players. We had WNBA players that had a decision whether they go to the BET Awards, whether they go to Tyler Perry, or to come to my BTS Awards. And most of them chose to come to my awards, and they did. You understand me? NASCAR, NFL Hall of Famers, NBA, WNBA. The CEOs, TV networks. We had all kinds of stuff. It was just, listen. This is why I say it is very pertinent, not for just the individual to learn how to live out loud, understand who you are, because before you can project and tell the world who you are, you gotta know who you are.
Gotta know who you are.
Know who you are. Be introduced to you and fall in love with the person that you were created to be. Because that very person, I'm telling you now, once you learn who you are, and I had to get to myself, y'all. Listen, I learned who I was, y'all. Ironically enough, just 5 years ago. Okay, I learned who I was just 5 years ago, and it came after my marriage was over and things like that. I learned more about me after my marriage ended than I did when I was in it, or even before then.
Through the pain.
Listen, I had to. This is what I did, which is what I never did. And when it came down to God, because see, I'm not a religious person. I have a relationship, so when I hear Him, I know Him. And
there you go. That's what I'm talking about.
When it came down to me and God, I was left to myself. Okay. I was left to myself, and I had to sit there and I had to ask God, show me how you see me, because how I see me right now is a little, I'm not going to make it. I'm just telling you now how I see me. This is just a raw 100% conversation. How I see me right now, because the person that I'm looking at in the mirror is not looking like me. I don't know who this person is. That person had become a chameleon in every
yes,
I needed to be for my parents. I became what I needed to be for my other rest of the family. I became who my husband wanted me to be.
There you go. There you go.
Yes. I became who were my friends. I became everything to everybody and nothing to myself. I was a shell of an individual. So when I looked at myself and I didn't recognize the person, and looking back, I said, God, I need you to show me who you are. Here's the thing: if you buy a vacuum cleaner and you don't know how to work it, what you gonna do? You're gonna go to the creator, the manufacturer.
There you go.
To my creator, because he's the one who made me who I am and instilled everything that's in me. And so I went to him. God, show me, because I need you to show me how you see me without spot or blemish, so that I can see me that way, so that I can walk out the steps that I need to walk out and fulfill whatever purpose that you have on the inside of me.
Hello.
He showed me this. He showed me that my price was far above rubies. He showed me that I have access to everything that he has access to. I am just as creative as he is. I have the power of words that he does. I have the power of things that be not as though they were. I have the and the power that he has. He's made me just like him. And the angels are jealous of me because I'm 100% and 100% God. I mean 100% man. So I can do things and transition and do things in the spirit just as much as I can in the physical. So when I understood who I was, I stood in it and couldn't nobody tell me nothing. When I tell you, I stepped in that thing and I walked out into it. And that is the thing that people don't understand. You know, so many people hate me, but they hate me and love me at the same time.
Yes.
And I love the fact they don't even understand why they hate me, but because they come to me, this is what I say. This is what I say every single time. If you watch me and if you follow me, then you know that I don't let you leave here without saying I love you, I mean it, and there's absolutely positively nothing you can do about it. I want you to be so angry. I want you to be so uncomfortable that you have to get out of yourself. You are
on point.
My whole purpose is to what I call in this, and I'm positioned for people, period. But my whole purpose is for women in particular, because we have the tendency to become everything to everybody.
Yes.
This much here. We sacrifice who we are. We sacrifice who we are. We give up who we are, and we don't know how to transition back to where we're supposed to be. We can be all of it. Okay. We can be it all. So when you're telling me, when you're saying, Donielle, how you when you were doing this and this and this and this and this, guess what? Why not? God didn't just put one gift in us. We have a
whole lot of gifts in us
all the time. I said, when I leave here, one thing about Miles Monroe, I know you all know, heard of Miles Monroe. He says, and I say all the time, he said that the cemetery is the most expensive and the wealthiest place on the face of this earth, not because of the tombstones or the caskets, but it's because it's in those graves is untapped into ability. And I refuse to leave this earth and not tap into the stuff that God put on the inside of me to tap into. They don't for me an empty body show enough. You understand me? Nothing gonna be left up in there. So yes, I am gonna be cooking. I'm gonna be cleaning. I'm gonna be painting and makeup and hair. I'm about to be dancing. Whatever you want me to do, whatever I'm gonna be doing, that's what I'm gonna do. And it is whoever don't like it. Guess what? That's your problem. Okay.
Miss B, you done said a mouth.
You done wrapped it up.
You know what I'm saying? You done said a mouth full. And you know, and what you have said is so true about everything. It's like being who you are and capturing who you are. And you're so right about we become and you hold on to that marriage one, because I'm doing a whole entire show on that of us of how we release who we are to be who other people need us to be. And that's just it. And I do believe that God created us in that form.
Right.
He becomes whatever we need him to
That's
be.
right.
So I believe that he does create us that way.
Yes.
But I don't believe that he wants us to release everything that we are.
Right.
And that's one of the things that I have had to come into, just saying, you know what? I just want to be me. I just want to talk like me. I want to act like me. And I'm not saying that you don't, you're respectful. You know, I used to always tell people, I want to be like the grandmama at the table.
Right.
Just say whatever and keep it moving.
Right.
No regrets. I ain't apologizing for nothing.
Right.
Because I'm right.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? And that I used to always be like, I want to be the grandmama at the table, or that special auntie.
Yes.
Come in.
Yes.
And then I thought, when I was putting this show together, I said, you know what? I'm not gonna wait till I'm the grandmama.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna wait to become the special auntie. I'm just gonna live out loud right now.
That's
I'm
it.
just gonna be who God created me to be right now. I'm done with holding that peace that God has given me.
Come on.
God made you creative. God put certain things on the inside of you. And you're right, Donielle. You just do whatever it is you feel like doing. Whatever it is that God has put in your heart. Because too many people are like, girl, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. And God say, well, if you couldn't do it, I wouldn't have gave it to you. If you couldn't do it, I wouldn't have put it down in the heart.
Right.
If you couldn't do it, it wouldn't have showed up here so that it could manifest here.
Come on.
If you couldn't do it, I would have never given it to you. I would have given it to somebody else.
Come on.
God gave it to you because you can do it. It's just for us to step out on faith. Step out in faith and say, you know what? It's just like when doing this whole live stream stuff. Girl, come on. Think about how many times you guys saw me before the whole COVID. Talking about
exactly. Yes.
I was up here doing I had a studio garden.
Sure did.
I'm up here gardening in the house. You hear me? Coming live with dirt. Okay, dirt everywhere. My studio was covered in dirt.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, because God gives us things, and to the natural world, and that's how I'm going to phrase this, to the natural world, it looks like foolishness.
Yes.
It looks like foolishness to the natural world. And God saying, what did he say? He'd take the fool.
To conform the wise. And on top of that, and the people of the world are sitting there waiting on you to do what it is you're supposed to be doing. That's Bible. And also Bible is the things of the spirit are foolish to the people of the world. They're foolish. So it's gonna be seen as foolish. It's gonna be seen as foolish. But guess what? God did some crazy things to give some miraculous outcomes. Some wonderful outcomes. It's so much beauty came out of Psycho. Okay, it's so much wonderful stuff that came out of unorthodox situations.
Yes, you know what? And I just want to say this. I think that one thing that I am just like extremely grateful for, I know in my experience, is that, you know, I always had this vision that somehow I was tied to the East Coast. And I really believe in like legacy and history, you know. And my mother gave me a wonderful gift years ago. She actually gave me an insurance policy for my paternal side of the family. I found out my great grandmother actually was from North Carolina.
Wow.
And, you know, my children, by them living in DC, I was back and forth with Spirit Airlines or whatever in DC. And the circles that I'm in DC, many of these people have, you know, powerful positions, right? Dealing with policy and so on and so forth. And what I've been so grateful for, even though, you know, me and this another parent, we have an organization, spent a year and a half attempting to get this one off the ground out there. But anyway, they have really poured into me and seen value in me. And it's interesting, you know, that group there, even though the other group might not, you know, it's always going to be some fighting, right?
Yeah.
But it's interesting seeing the perspective of people in one geographical area, right? As opposed to Midwesterners as opposed to Louise. Now you're on the West Coast.
Sure.
And I'm like really grateful because it almost became it really became a battle for me. I really had to remain like very prayerful because whenever I would keep coming back to Chicago, I was just like, I don't really think I can live here.
Yeah.
Because as I was up and down the East Coast, it was almost like, oh man, your ideas. Normally, I have real big hair. Normally, oh my God, we love your energy. We love your ideas. Even if they hated me, they respected me.
Yeah.
It was always like, what does she have to say? What is, this, that, whatever. But, I'm just like so grateful because he always has a plan.
Yeah.
And it's like, it might not work for some people, but I'm not going to say some people. It doesn't work for most people.
Yeah.
Like it really doesn't work for most people. Most people don't have the capacity to travel. I'm sure Miss B, you travel a lot.
Right.
Most people don't have that. That takes energy to have to travel.
It does.
Right? You have to have lenses and you have to be able to shift.
Yeah.
Right? So what you do in one circle, you can't behave that same way in another circle. Right? You can't do that. So you can't go in one circle and live out loud in a certain way in that circle that you might do in another circle. That takes discernment.
Yeah.
Right? And so what I'm so grateful for is that God will use people to give you those words of encouragement, to let you know in just the whispers that you're on the right track. Even you don't even know it. Like even being invited today, I shared with Louise yesterday. I had just like contacted her, and I was just like 5 years ago. I'm known as a jail teacher, right? And I was just like, I'm not doing any more radio. I'm not doing anything. I'm just like, no, I'm not doing anything. And, this is, I'm Quest to Connect now. And I was like, blah, 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 And when I got the invite, I was just like, man, okay. Like, that came at the right time.
Yeah.
And he just let me know. God let me know. And then when I Googled Miss B, I was like, oh my God. Like,
she called me. She said, did you see all this stuff Miss B do?
I was there like 2 minutes.
I know.
And
I said,
I know, like, and then the name of the show.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh my God. And this is a pandemic, you guys. We're in a pandemic. So many people are listening, and who will probably watch the replay. I don't know if it's a replay, but they're looking. They're yearning.
Yes.
So people are inboxing you. People are texting you. They want change. They're making changes. They're buying homes. People are proposing to people they've dated for years. People are breaking up. People are getting divorces. People are ending friendships. People are ending partnerships, business partnerships, right? All kinds of beautiful things, ugly things,
necessary things.
Right? They're happening right now. People are living. Let me tell you, whoever's listening right now, I promise you, you're living out loud right now, and you might not even know it.
Don't even know it.
Don't even know
it. Living out loud. We've gone over an hour for a reason.
Yeah.
You are living out loud, and you don't even know it.
That's
Give
it.
yourself some credit.
Yes.
People to affirm you or whether you are living out loud.
Thank you.
I don't ask nobody for permission.
Yep.
Oh, do you think I'm living out loud? They tell me all the time, Donielle, would you stop that mess?
Nope. Nope. I don't ask either.
Live with love. Lead with love.
That's it.
You lead with love, even when I mess up. People know my heart.
They know.
They know my heart when I have courageous conversations.
Yeah.
And I might hurt people's feelings. They know. And I always have trusted that God will reveal to them that I'm saying
there you go.
I care. Not that I am attempting to hurt them.
That's it.
Right.
But I'm grateful for the pandemic. I'm excited about the pandemic.
Yep.
You all, I'm pumped up.
Listen,
It's the time for creatives. We are going to the
let me tell you something. On that right there. Right there. In January, and I say this all the time, so my people know. In January, I was washing dishes. And now, because I'm always in front of a crowd, in front of a whatever, an auditorium, or whatever the case, I'm always in front of a camera, some type of way. And so when I'm not working, I'm in quiet. I'm in silence. You know what I mean? And I enjoy that time because I can hear, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm washing dishes in my kitchen, and I'm just, just watching and doing whatever. And I heard clear as me talking right here. It's not punishment, it's positioning. And I'm like, okay. And I thought it was for someone else. I literally called that person. No, I text that person right then and there. And I said, hey, God said it's not punishment, it's positioning. They sent me a thumbs up. That was it. Just a simple thumbs up. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm thinking I done did something for the Lord. You know what I'm saying? So listen, I'm just like, okay, good. I'm a
Did you give yourself an offering? Did you cash app yourself an offering?
Listen, right. So I said, okay, cool. I just knew it was for that person, right? So I'm going on and I'm good. I'm back to my washing dishes and stuff like that, feeling good, feeling obedient, all of that. So then, the following month, in the middle of February, now in the beginning of February is when all hell started to break loose for me. Okay. So I'm like, what is going on? Things that should not have been happening, would have never happened before. They were happening like in sequence. And I'm like, come on, man, what is happening here? Not knowing anything about this COVID, anything, because sidebar, they knew about this last October, November, whatever the case, and didn't tell us or whatever until they got to where it was a necessity to say something to us, the country. However, in February, the middle of February, I heard it again. It's not punishment, it's positioning. At this point, now I'm frustrated because I'm like, I hear you. I told him. You show me where to position in that because it's feeling real punishy right now. Punishy. Okay. So at the end of February is when it just like collapsed. Like the whole just hell had froze over, melted, and preparing you ready. Everything just happened. Everything just collapsed and happened to me. Whatever could have possibly happened, it started to happen right then and there. So here it is. March 1st is when I released my book. Okay. Make Up With Yourself, all through hell. So, and I couldn't do anything on my own. I had to literally be humbled and reach out to people for help in order to just release the book. Wow. Easy because I was told to release the book. So if I'm given an instruction to do so, then of course, if it's your will, it's going to be your bill, right? You're going to provide the resources to get it done. And the resources that he provided, the people around me. Okay. And so I was like, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking it's going to be, we got our pictures in our head on how stuff going to happen. And we have hit the guy with something totally different, right? So now, the middle when March 14th, because I had a salon. March 14th, I was told by the state of Georgia, because I'm here. I was in Atlanta. Told by the state of Georgia, I had to shut down my salon due to COVID. Now, I'm a full-time entrepreneur. Okay, which means that if I don't work, she don't eat. Okay, she got to work so she can eat. She's thick, and she got to keep the thickness. Okay, so when it came down to that right there, I said, okay. When they told me to shut down, you're shutting down my home, my utilities. You shutting down my food. I didn't get governmental assistance whatsoever. Everything was cash money. Okay. So you're shutting down my living. I was in the state of Georgia by myself in the city of Atlanta by myself. My nearest family member was 2 hours away. So I'm like, come on, what am I supposed to do? And not when that happened, the 14th of March, 2 days later is when the governor and our mayor, Keisha Lance Bottom, says, they're halting rent and mortgage. They're halting utility payments. They're halting everything. And I'm like, Lord Jesus, what is happening? They done took interest rate down to 0.5 or 1. Oh, yeah. I'm talking about, I'm like, what is happening? My phone coming in and calling and said, we got you. You ain't got to pay your stuff and for a month out. And I said, hold it. And sure, just as sure as my name is what it is, I heard again, it's not punishment, it's positioning.
I love that. That it's not punishment for positioning.
See, now I'm looking at it differently, right?
Yes.
Like you said, going back to what you said, in this time during COVID, you got two options on how you gonna see this thing. You gonna be a victim or you gonna be positioned. Whichever one, it's up to you. If you gonna be a victim to the COVID and we don't have no money and government need to cut us another stimulus and how they expect us to pay our bills and all of this and then the third, you're subject to the system. But when you're not on the system and when you are being positioned in where you during this time here for creatives, for entrepreneurs, for business hopefuls, all of this stuff, if you have a book in you and you've been procrastinating, you write that book right now.
Yes.
If you have a business idea and you have a desire to get that business done, now is the time to do it.
Now is the time. Now is the time.
Get some things done and you want to learn, you schooling and this and that. Get it done now.
Right now.
Waiting for it. Now is the time to be positioned to do what it is that you're supposed to do because it's going to end. When it's going to end, we don't know. But once it's over, you will be at a position to where you can go and flourish from that point on.
Exactly.
You're positioning yourself to where you can take off.
I truly believe that. I truly believe that. All right, ladies, we just gonna keep going and going. We about to hit on a half an hour. Say that again, Donielle. Say that again.
They upstairs. I don't hear. What y'all at lunch?
Oh, she up there. She up there.
Okay. I'm like, I don't hear them working now. I'm like, what
got it.
I'm messing with y'all.
She's like, I don't hear folks working. Now we'll keep on talking. Ladies, I have so enjoyed this time that we had. I don't think this is gonna be our last time.
Yes, ma'am.
Come back and do this again.
Yes, ma'am.
But I am so glad that you two were here to kick this thing off, to kind of commemorate this moment for the first Living Out Loud segment. Because I just believe that when I chose you all, and I think I shared this I shared it with Donielle yesterday. I said I decided I wanted to do this show, and I had no idea because I do the Beauty of Blackness Fine Art show, Black Art and Culture, and I was working with some other women, and we were going to do this show. But we all have our own feel, our own vibe, and I'm hoping that at some point, because we were going to do like this thing, and God was like, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and put it together. So I just started. I started with a group. I did the Live Out Loud group. So definitely, if you out there, get a part of the Live Out Loud group and just share your Live Out Loud moment.
Yes.
I believe us, being together and sharing and talking and enjoying life, because that's basically what it is. And support, sharing that supportive life. And when I was looking, I was like, well, Lord, I know a lot of people. I do. I know a lot of people. And I told Donielle, I said, I would see Miss B in my feed, and I told you, I'd see you in my feed all the time.
Yeah.
And lately I've been seeing you in my feed a lot. And I said, I like this. I like her. I like this young lady. I like what she's doing. And I'm going to be honest, when I sent the thing to you and you was like, I love your work. I was like, okay, we know each other.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? We know each other. It's not that, you're not just in my feed, because, I'm going to be honest. I got a whole lot of people in my feed that I knew back in Chicago that I can't remember.
Yeah.
And so I said, Wayne. I said, Wayne, I know Miss B.
You do. If you recall, you taught us the wash for Kendra's wedding. You sure did. Yep.
I said, Wayne, I know Miss B.
Yep.
Help me.
Yep.
No. And Wayne said, Mama.
Right.
When he went and told me, I said, oh, okay.
Yes, exactly.
I'm old. Every now and then I have that old flag. I can't remember people. And I am so grateful.
Yeah.
You are on my page. I'm so grateful that we are friends, because when I chose you, it was because, and it wasn't even because Donielle is the one that told me. She said, Louise, do you know Miss B done this and she did this and she did this and she did this? She said, I went and looked her up. I said, you know what? When I picked you and Miss B, I didn't know Donielle did the whole alderman thing. And
Right.
I said, when I picked you all, I picked you out of your spirit.
Yeah.
I picked you because there was something about your spirit that came through on that news feed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That I connected with. That I knew that these were the women that I wanted to be on this show.
Yeah. And you
Such
know
an
what?
honor.
Yes, it is. It absolutely is. I took it quickly because I didn't even hesitate on when you asked me. I was probably saying yes while you were still asking. Okay. So
I did the same thing.
yes. And the reason that I did is because in my career, I'm always talking about business. I'm always talking about music and entertainment. I'm always talking about beauty. But when you said the topic is living unapologetically, living without regret, living out loud, I said, baby, I am there. That is the first time I've ever been able to just speak about that and nothing else.
Right.
I said, oh, because I know this. Oh, I know this.
Walking billboards, aren't we? We walking billboards.
I got this. I ain't got to prepare for this one. All right, I can just talk. She can call me right now. Okay.
Where's the party?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted. I just wanted it to, and that's what I want the whole show to be about, where you're just expressing, you're talking, you're being who you are, and you're not preparing like this. It's like, oh, I gotta prepare this and I gotta prepare that. No. We're just being real.
Right.
Just being real. I said fart on. I just said fart earlier, and that.
And somebody, one of my admins apparently typed in something.
I did have notes. I did have notes.
Yeah.
But that's because Donielle, she got notes. She over there.
Just in case. I didn't
She's using that other part. She's using that other part of her brain.
That's right. That's okay. That's structure she was talking about earlier. That's that structure.
Donielle in there with that structure. She's showing up with structure.
Yeah.
That structure side of her brain. But it has been such a blessing.
It has.
To be a part of and just be in this room, because this is a room, people. To be in this room with you amazing women who have not only transcended, because that's what it is. Transcended mama, transcended grandmama, transcended the school, transcended the church, transcended all of those, the society, transcended all of those things.
The box
ripped us and blocked us and held us back. And said, you know what? I know that's a wall, but I'm breaking through it.
There you go.
I know that's a hill, but I'm climbing over it.
That's it.
You see what I'm saying? And if I got to get over that lake and there is no bridge, I'm gonna build it.
That's right. Well, no, I might not necessarily build it, but I'll help get the plans together. Build it, right?
Well, we need a plan.
Hey, Donielle, I'm gonna put the plan together, and I'm like, you all come on over here.
I participate in stuff like that.
Well, we need that. We need that. We need a planner. We need a structure.
We need to keep putting the plans together.
Yes, those are the makings of a great power team. You need a planner, you need an execution, you need muscle, you need money. Hello.
All of that. You need all that. So you gotta have it all.
Money has nothing to do with anything. It is the lack of access. Resources.
The lack of access to resources. There you go.
Yep.
There you go.
Exactly. And before we get started on a whole nother one,
I know.
we'll be back. I'm just gonna let you know you will be back on this show.
Awesome.
We'll have some more fun. We might have a whole nother. It won't matter.
Good. Good. This was awesome. Thank you so much,
Thank
Louise.
you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I have so enjoyed you both. And trust me, just the comments alone, you guys have I mean, you guys have blown up the comments. I mean, there's
Wow.
comments. I tried to put some up so you guys can read them, but it's hard, you know, because then you like this.
Right.
You on there like this.
Right. That's so funny.
I got those later. I read them. But I just want you all to know it has just been a blessing. And I thank you for being a part of my first
Yeah.
Living Out Loud. And if you know, and you be like, Louise, I got a great person that might have some fun. You will have some fun with. Let me know. You know, send a message, because I'm always looking outside my own box.
Yeah.
You know, I had one girl, she said, Louise, how do you find all the artists? I said, baby girl, when you start doing artist interviews, you start getting a whole lot of friend connections.
Come on. Yes.
You start, I said, I have enough folks to look at from now to eternity. So
come on. That's good.
But I just want to thank you all and say, it's just been a blessing and absolute pleasure to be here with you and share with you. And stay tuned, stay there. I'm gonna go ahead and close this out.
Okay.
With us, I know we went a little over, and that may happen again. So I'm just gonna let you know, let you bring you up to speed, because when you get and that's again, one of our sponsors, LaShawn Bills. He has some amazing work, and I would love for you guys to go to his website. It's LaShawnBill.com, and go to his website. He has some really, really neat stuff. Okay, I just love that video. I'm just gonna tell you, I just love it because I love the music that went with it. I just love the music. That's really why I played it again. I'm just gonna be honest, because I just love the music. All right. I also want you guys to know, if you're looking at doing some streaming, go ahead and click up there. I'm actually doing a group lesson on tomorrow on live streaming. If you kind of wanted to get your feet wet, haven't quite figured out if you want to do it, go ahead and click that link. I'm doing a group lesson. It's $45 for the whole entire, you just sign in, you'll be a part of that group Zoom, and you can get your feet wet, learn some stuff. By the time you're done, you'll be a full live streamer. Okay, that's what it's all about, live streaming. Okay, so we're going to sign out, and thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you again next week. But make sure, I want to put this up. Go ahead, Miss B, make sure that you go to her website, and that's BiancaMissBLee.com. And Donielle is Donielle at quest2.com. It's right here, quest2.com. I have the collective, but go to their website. I'm telling you, these women are phenomenal. They got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of things happening. Go to their website, check them out. And hey, if you could catch Miss B on Facebook, trust me, you'll be doing yourself a favor. I'm just going to let you know. She is so much fun. I watch, and I don't watch a whole lot of stuff, but every now and then I'm up at that time and Miss B is on my channel, because she's just wonderful to watch, and she gives me so much joy to be able to catch what she's doing. So you guys go ahead and do that, and we're gonna go ahead and sign out, and I'm gonna leave you with this.